Hi, I'm Jed Sims, and in this session we're going to talk about what is project success and why do so few projects succeed. And to explain this, we'll explain what's missing and what you need to put in place to actually first define success correctly and then realize it to the betterment of your organization. Success is currently measured by the iron triangle, also known as the triple constraint. If you ask most people, how do you measure project success? They'll say, on time, on budget, to specification. Even CEOs will say, on time, on budget, to specification. These are the constraints within which a project may need to be delivered, but they are not measures of success. If you think about it, we do not commission projects to deliver something on time, on budget. We commission projects to achieve business outcomes and results. These are just controls, important controls as we'll see, but they are not measures of success. And if you don't identify your measures of success, you won't achieve them. What do we need to do? So let's redraw the iron triangle and you'll see why in a moment. What this new drawing shows is the base is the specification and quality. If you compromise what you're delivering, you will compromise the value. If you compromise the quality, you will compromise the value. So the prerequisite to getting any sort of business value is that you deliver to specification and to quality. Secondly, there's the cost. And I'm sure we've all seen projects where the cost overruns have annihilated the potential value of the project. One of the key things that owners are always concerned about is builders running over time and cost and therefore blowing out the profitability of a development. So cost management is still very important. You still want to deliver to the optimum cost because every dollar, pound, euro you go over the optimum cost, you are reducing the net value of the project. And time has two potential impacts. The first, if you go over time, you often incur extra costs because of the cash burn rate of the project. So if it's costing you $5,000 a week to run the project and you go a week over, then that's an additional $5,000. But the real cost of time delay is in lost benefits. Every month that you maybe are late or over the optimum delivery time frame, that's a month of benefits foregone forever. So if you were expecting benefits of $1 million a month as a result of this project, every month you are late, you lose $1 million. Not very visible normally, but they're still important, these controls. But there's no business value here. As we said earlier, you don't do projects to bring something in on time, on budget. You can, in fact, and I'm sure you've all seen one, an on time to cost to specification disaster. The project team's celebrating, but the business thinks it's a mess. So the key thing to take from this is the iron triangle is not measuring success, but worse, it actually focuses effort and attention on the wrong performance measures. You've all seen projects where the specification, the scope, or the quality has been compromised to come in on time, on budget. So we achieve a short-term gain for a long-term loss. So we can't use these as our measures of success because not only are they not measures of success, they actually encourage the wrong behavior. So what do we need to do? Well, we recognize that this is the project manager's perspective. The rest of the business should be looking for the business value. So we need to add the business value dimension. At the base here we have implementation, because it's not just what you produce on the project, but how you actually implement it into and integrate it into the business. Or let's look at specification and say all the parts of a car. It's how you put the car together and tune it that would actually make a difference to how it performs, the driving experience and so on. All the parts can be there, but it's how it's implemented that actually makes a difference. So implementation determines the value that's going to be available from the project outputs. The project outcomes now become the end states to be achieved by the project, and these are changes in the business. Let's assume that you're putting in a CRM system. So now the specification may be for a CRM system. The implementation has to be more than just training and communications about the CRM system. It needs to achieve certain outcomes in the business where you're actually leveraging that CRM system to get some results for the business. Then it has some value. And so what you need to do is define clear, specific, measurable project outcomes that the project team will achieve with the business and will deliver immediate benefits. And finally, there's the business outcomes, which is the end state you're trying to achieve in the business when everything is working just right. This is what will deliver the full value of the project investment. And they're achieved after the project outcomes, because the project outcomes are actually defined as a subset of the business outcomes, so one leads to the other. So this business value aspect determines the actual value you're getting. The effectiveness of your implementation determines the use made of the project outputs, determining the available value. You may be surprised how many systems are actually developed and installed and never used. That's the difference between the specification and implementation. The project outcomes, the delivery of the project outcomes and immediate benefits determines the value delivered from the project. But we've sneaked in here, as you may notice, immediate benefits. There are some benefits that when you install the solution of the project, whatever that is, there will be some benefits that are immediately available, and these should be part of the project brief, so that the project team is actually focused on realizing benefits. Because too many project managers do not believe that projects have anything to do with benefits, which is why we often don't get them. And then the delivery of the business outcomes and immediate benefits determines the final value delivered from the project investment. So each one of these three aspects will deliver and determine the value you get. This should be the project governance team's perspective. They should be looking after the value while the project manager looks after time, cost and specification. But unfortunately, when you ask most governance teams what are they there for, they're there to deliver the project on time, on budget. That is wrong. They are there to deliver the business into and through the business. The reason why so few projects are successful is that this whole value triangle is largely missing. We try and throw a few change managers at implementation and maybe some benefits managers for the outcomes and benefits realization, but no one's really focusing on this. So I just said most governance teams do not know that this is their accountability. Only when you focus on delivering the business value will it be realized. And the actual value realized will be determined by how well the outputs are implemented and used, how well the project outcomes are fully delivered, because any compromises in the project outcomes compromise the benefits, and how well the business outcomes are fully delivered post-project. So the governance team not only has to focus on making sure that we don't lose the value by cost and time overruns or compromising the specification, but importantly has to focus on how well we're implementing this, translating it into business results, into project outcomes, business outcomes, benefits and value. Then you're achieving success. The iron triangle side is still important, as all or most value can be destroyed by poor delivery. So the iron triangle side determines what value will be available to be realized. Because if you go massively over time or cost, or you don't deliver to specification, you are destroying the value that is available to be realized. In reviewing a project recently, after implementation, we identified that had they actually implemented correctly, they would have achieved something like $50 million worth of benefits, but what had been implemented could only deliver less than 10 million in benefits. So time cost specification is still vital. It determines what value will be available to be realized. The green value triangle side determines what value is actually realized and sustained, because you also need to make sure you not only achieve the value but sustain it. So how important is this to project success? I mean, can we get away with what we're doing now with maybe some change managers and benefits managers and changing KPIs and things like that? Well, the problem is the value triangle side is accountable for delivering over 50% of the value. Most projects today miss, lose or destroy more than 50% of the available value. A whole raft of reasons for that, but that's the figure, unfortunately. So if you get this right, you can make a tremendous difference to the results you're achieving from your projects without additional expenditure, without additional resources, just by being better and focusing on the value to be achieved. So you need to add the value triangle to the iron triangle to ensure you are targeting all measures of project success. And the sides of the business outcomes, project outcomes and implementation required, these are all delivered by the top value equation. That is what it's designed to do and why it increases the value of projects and measures their success so easily and simply. Add the business value success measures and immediately increase your project success. That's what the value equation will enable you to do. It really is that simple. Go to topvalueequation.com or to our website, totallyoptimizedprojects.com.